In a previous tutorial video, we went over some styles, how to actually stylize some of your typography in your website. And the default browser style is to add Times New Roman or a serif font for your headings, your subheadings, and your paragraphs and lists, etc. So we can get a little bit more stylized with this by adding our own styles into the head tag. And we can style something like the heading with a font family that everybody has on their computer, which would be like Arial. Oops, that needs to be a colon. Arial. And if they don't have Arial, we'll offer them a generic sans serif version. So if I save this, you can see that this main heading then turned to Arial. If I wanted the subheading to also be Arial, I can make H2 Arial and it shows up there. So it's a little bit more customized, but still pretty darn basic. So if you want a really stylized website though, you can use something called Google Fonts. And that looks like this as of the time of this video. It might look a little bit different for you, but hopefully it works pretty much the same. So when I'm on Google Fonts, I can come through here and choose what type of font I want to see. So for right now, I just want to style my heading. So I kind of want just display fonts, and display fonts are funner fonts that have a lot more style, but they're only really good for headings because it'd be really hard to read a whole paragraph in this type of font, but it's easy for headings that have maybe 1 to 4 words. So I just want to look through the display fonts. You can also do what would work with different languages and by different properties, how many numbers of styles are offered. How thick or thin it is, whether it's slanted, how wide it is, etc. So you can search that way as well. But for now, I'm just going to go down here and look for one I like, and I really like this Alpha Slab 1. So I'm going to go to this page and I can type in what my heading might be to see what it would look like. So this is just a generic page where it might be for an event. So I really like this slab serif. I can see it in a larger size and see how it would look, and I really like it. This also shows me how many characters are included in that font and whether or not it includes both capitals and lowercase, whether or not it has special characters in it like the $sign. Sometimes that's missing, and also accent marks. If this site was ever to be used like with Google Translate, then we want to make sure it has accent marks. If that doesn't matter to you, then that's fine, but for mine, I just want to make sure it has as much flexibility as possible. So it's going to give us more information than also what we'd like to pair with it, which is really helpful. But I forgot, I just need to choose select this style because I like it. So now when you choose select this style, it's going to open up this selected family and tell you how to start adding that to your website. And we can do that, but I actually want to add all of my fonts first so that it's a little bit easier in the end. So I'm going to close this, and if I ever want to open it again, I can choose this View Your Selected Families button up here. So down here, it's saying, okay, here's a good font pairing for your body text. It's really easy to read. It's clean. So Roboto could be a really good pairing. And I can come over here and choose a different weight for it if I want. I can look at Lato and see if that is a better font pairing, and all of these should look really good. Sometimes it flips these around, and this should be your display and this should be your body. So you might need to hit this reverse button, and then there we can see it looks a little bit better. So let me reverse that. So all of these are good options. Sorry, but I think I like Roboto. So for the body text, I think I want to do Roboto, but I actually think I want to do light because it's got a lighter, I really like the contrast between the really thick, heavy slab heading and then this light, airy text here. So I think I'm going to hit plus to add that style. Now I was thinking, I do have H2s and H3s, but for right now for the sample page, I do have just an H2 subheading. And I think I do want another font, but it's a little bit much to add this font plus a whole other different font. So what I'm thinking is I actually want to add a different version of Roboto, like a heavier version, and that would be used for subheadings. So I could either do that here. I can choose black. Black is always like really thick version of that font and hit plus. Or if I'm looking over here, see how it has black 900 now? You could choose to add more styles. So basically you're reviewing saying, okay, you've added Alpha Slab 1, you've added Roboto in light 300 and black 900, and then it's telling you how to use this for your website. So you can either import it, which I don't recommend, or you can add a link. And so what it's saying is to embed this font into your website, you need to copy this text and put it into the head tag of your code. So I'm going to copy it, find my head tag, and I usually like to put it right underneath the title. Now, don't put it in the styles because this is just the code linking to that font. So you can see it's linking to Alpha Slab 1 plus the family of Roboto at the weight of 300 and 900. So you can save this and come over here and nothing happens. That's because we haven't said what things should be using the Alpha and the Roboto. So let me go ahead and say just the H1 should be using that Alpha. So I could type it myself, but the cool thing here is this is the CSS rules to specify family. So if I want to use Alpha Slab 1, I need to copy this one rule and put it in H1. So now that's going to use Alpha Slab 1. And let's see what that looks like. Well, let's save it. So now you can see there's Alpha Slab 1. So I can come over here and do font size. Let's do 3 M's and see how that looks. Okay, so that's pretty chunky. I can do color. And I'm going to use this little color picker. And let's do some nice bluish gray. Yeah, that's not too bad. Okay, we're going to copy that. We're going to paste that. Save it. Okay, so there's my bluish heading, and I kind of probably want to do some letter spacing because it's a little bit too chunky, letter spacing. So let's do 1 M and see what happens. Whoa, whoa, way too big. Let's do 0.2 M. That's still terrible. Let's do 0.1. Maybe I don't like it, but I'm just playing. So that's one thing you have to consider with your tutorial video. I don't know why I yelled sorry during that. Sorry if I scared you. But, you know, just messing around with it and seeing what you like and deleting things that you don't like gives you more practice writing styles. So now we want to do H2 and say that H2 should be that Roboto. So we're going to go back to our Google Fonts and we're going to copy this Roboto. And we're going to put that there. Now, if we save it and we look at what happens to the subheading, you can see that it turns into Roboto. However, it's not that thick 900 Roboto or light 300 Roboto. How we do that is we do a rule called font weight. Because we've imported the 900 and 300 weight, I can put 900 and then save, and it gets thicker. So like for the paragraphs, I'm going to come over here and basically put the same thing, but this time do that 300 weight, 300, save, and no, it should be a paragraph. What am I doing? Paragraph. There you go. All right, so now that's looking a little bit better. So maybe my H2s, I want to make it a color of light gray. Probably doesn't have good contrast. Yeah, it doesn't have good contrast at all. Let's just do gray. There we go. And notice that, see how the list item is still the regular font. It's not this Roboto. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to say P, and any unordered list and any ordered list, even though we don't have an ordered list on here, should all be using the same font. So let's do font size, and we're going to make that 1.1 M. Oops, save. All right, so it's a little bit bigger. It's still using that light thin Roboto. Maybe I want to change it so it's a little bit gray, not perfectly black, but just a little bit charcoal gray to look a little bit softer. I can change the line height. If I make this smaller, you can see, let's go ahead and do line height. And let's do 1.3 M's. Save that. Maybe we need to do like 1.6. Save that. There we go. So there we're adding some Google fonts, and we did it by linking to the fonts and then adding those rules into whichever tags relate to that Google font. So get crazy. No, don't get crazy. I mean, get crazy with these ones to experiment with it, but when it comes to your actual website, use good design principles and use a coordinated color scheme and things like that. And make sure that your font's personality matches what your page is about. You wouldn't want to have a page for Mother's Day and it looks like, like a monster truck rally font. That doesn't make any kind of sense. So use that design sensibility when it comes to your website. But for this one, if you want to play, you definitely can. In the next video, we're going to talk about what do you do when you want more than one page to have the exact same style, because right now these styles only live on this particular page. And if you create a second page for your website, it's not going to have these styles. And that's where we actually do a linked CSS file. So make sure you watch that.